We're good. We are live.
Hey.
I'm so excited.
What up?
How's it going?
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday indeed.
It used to be Fridays.
It did.
So this is like new this year.
We moved it.
You know?
Nice.
So we always go like Happy Friday, but no, it's Thursdays now.
Perfect.
So that's how we roll.
But let's be real, every day is a happy day, so.
It's true. It's true. Especially when you have a special guest like this on the show today.
Yeah.
I'm so excited
Man.
to be here.
Levi, let's go. Open us up. Let's
No
get
doubt,
this thing
no
started.
doubt. So we have Jenna Johnson on with us today. She
Mhm.
is an artiste, among other things, and very excited to hear about her passion and really what kind of got her to where she is, doors opening, things like that, and a little bit of her story. So thanks so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. We're excited to have you share.
Thank you guys.
I'm very excited to share because we've got to have some time together. So,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, how this whole connection started
Yes, let's hear.
is I was looking for some artwork for my office space, and Cyrus, who we had on last week, right? He's like, "You need to get connected with Jenna," and I'm like, "Okay." So I get connected with Jenna, and then I find out that you're connected with Cyrus, and I'm like, "I love this. This is like family." And then I came down to your studio, got to see that, and then we got to actually talk for, I don't know,
I
a
think
long
it was
time.
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
And I
just
was like,
connected, yeah.
this girl has to come on the podcast
Uh-huh.
because she has a cool story. So without further ado, I know I say that a lot, like when I listen back, but it's like the
That's how we,
introduction.
that's how
to,
we
like,
transition.
get going. You
Yeah.
know? So yeah, let's get into it.
Well, yeah, no doubt. Give us a little bit, I guess, of high-level overview. Tell us about your story. Where are you from? Background, where'd you go to school? Are you from here, locally? And I guess paint the picture for us and our guests on, your origin.
Sure. I'll keep it short and sweet on that. I was born in Sioux City, Iowa.
Okay.
Moved here as a kid. My dad was a pilot, and the job moved us to Omaha. Me, my sister, and my parents. That's us four.
Mm-hmm.
And grew up loving sports, loving to be active outside. I never knew I could paint.
Uh-huh.
I never knew I was creative until I was in I had several knee injuries, soccer,
Uh-huh.
volleyball. So I actually tore my ACL about 5 times.
Oh, no.
I shouldn't say about, it
Wow.
was 5 times.
I was gonna say, I'm like about, like
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah, buy 3 surgeries, get 1 free, I don't know. But that really got me focused. They basically said, no more active things for you. You got to sit down and do something different.
Mhm.
So I found painting. I found painting in high school. So fast forward, we're in high school now, and found out that I have this talent and I love this love for painting and
Yeah.
moving paint around canvas. And ended up getting a commission for LinkedIn, or not LinkedIn, sorry, TD Ameritrade.
Cool.
And I
Shout
was
out to you.
18. Oh, go ahead.
There you go.
And that's what really got me to thinking, wow, this is something that I can really hone in and focus on for the rest of my life. So took it serious and
Mhm.
got a studio, was going to go to Chicago Art Institute,
Okay.
had a scholarship lined up and ready to go, but decided let's take a year and do my own thing and see how it goes. And
Yeah.
if all else fails, we'll go to school and
Mhm.
try to find another avenue. And I've been at the hot shops for 8 years now, so
Wow, that's amazing.
just building my business, yeah.
Your piece that you got with TD, tell us about that.
They needed 4 paintings of previous Olympic athletes that they had sponsored.
Okay.
Not sure if they still sponsor them or not, but I was heavy into painting sports, people.
Mhm.
Sports is really what got me into making money in the
Right.
business. And
Yeah.
then once I got that down, kind of entered my own personal creative flow
Yeah.
into it. So TD went through, sold 4 paintings, and then it kind of just took off from there.
Mhm.
People saw them.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I need work for this office, and
Mhm.
LinkedIn got a hold of me, and I did 4 paintings for them.
Wow, cool.
And for their new building,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, it's just word of mouth is crazy.
Nice.
So I have to back up here
Yeah, I went fast.
because I'm like, okay, high school you found this passion, but like when you really look back, like even as a child and like growing up, like sidewalk chalk and like all kids do that and that kind of stuff. Like, is there anything like that like you look back on, you're like, yeah, I like really enjoyed that, but I never really like pursued it? Or is it just like, nope, something clicked in high school and it was like, I can pinpoint that to like this time or this teacher or this person that kind of sparked that interest?
It was the second one. I always loved creating with my hands, digging in the dirt, making bracelets as a kid, just doing anything with my hands.
Yeah.
So I had that down, but I didn't know that when you put that together with paint and these art materials, you can make something pretty beautiful. And I met my high school art teacher, Mr. Ock, when I was a freshman, and he is the one that said, all right, well, you're not gonna do what we're doing in this class. I'm gonna sit you over here and you're gonna practice on your own and you're just gonna go. So he looked over at me and I was painting, I think it was New York City skylight, one of the most complex things to paint that I chose as an 18 or a 15-year-old, and he looks over at me painting all these little windows and they're really intricate, and he took my brush and he smeared all my paint and he said, stop being so literal. Build the paint, feel it, make it your own. Don't paint from that picture like it's perfect. You know, you gotta really put your heart into it and make it your own. That was the turning point for me. And I just went crazy. I went bigger. I got these 8-foot by 4-foot masonite board because that's all of our school could afford.
Yeah.
And I asked the teacher, they normally would cut them up and make them small for kids to paint on, and I said, can I have a whole sheet? And she said, yeah, go for it. And I started I made a Rex Burkhead 8-foot painting. I did Michael Phelps. And then, which those two pieces got me the TD Ameritrade paintings.
Interesting.
So
I was gonna add,
That's pretty amazing.
When you said the Olympic athlete, I was thinking Phelps because of the swim trials and stuff like that here, maybe something like that.
Yeah,
So
they don't sponsor them,
but
believe that's Nike.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nike's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Shout out Nike.
That's interesting. So I think I think everybody inside has a little bit of like a creative thing in them, like a yearning to create and build and do, So for me, mine materializes in other ways, but I notice when I have built up creative energy, like I need to get it out and express it in a certain way. It's kind of interesting to hear that, you started being really passionate about sports, and that was like your creative outlet, if you will. So do you think maybe that's what's allowed you to be successful in your art career, is having that really huge passion for sports and then having that almost ripped away from you, and now just needing to get out that creative energy somewhere else led you into painting?
Yes, all of them.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. The sports taught me, stay with it when you're tired. Be disciplined. Get up and work hard. Don't quit. All of those things that you have to really focus in and to be a teammate. And I played team sports and I was a swimmer. I had to compete by myself. So learning all those aspects carried over into when I wasn't able to do those things anymore. I still think about that all the time. When I was so tired in swimming and they said one more lap, I wanted to quit, but I couldn't. It's the same thing when I'm tired in a painting, when I'm tired in, because I'm doing admin work or whatever, and I'm just just push it a little harder and you'll get it. So they go hand in hand, and sports has really grew me into the person that I am today. Focused and determined. And I want to be better. I want to compete. I love competing.
That's so cool.
I will say, like, we're gonna plug the space that you work in. This place is called
Hot Shops Art Center.
Hot Shops Art Center. If you've never been there, it's downtown, and I'm gonna maybe move into this because if you go close by it, you'll see a mural painted on a building. And you actually got to do that. So can you kind of tell us like how that came about?
Sure.
And how long did it take you? Like, how does this walk us through, like, I guess from an artist perspective of like, so you get these jobs from these businesses, these companies are doing murals on, the outside things of buildings. Like, where do you start? Like, okay, thanks, I got the vision, but now like, as you go, for me, like I always envision like when I drive by this mural, like on this wall outside, I'm like, how do you even like know how big you're gonna like start doing this? Like, what if you do it, like the scaling part of it, but like, kind of walk us through that a little bit.
Sure. I am fairly new at these larger mural works, the permanent pieces. Done, I'd say 12 fairly larger works, larger being 40 foot long in a basketball place. So I'm fairly new, but I've gotten a handle on smaller and bigger and professional and more appeasing to kids. So when you find out who your client is and you find out who your audience is, that's what takes you to the next creative place. So for this Hot Shops mural, I knew in my heart that I really wanted to idolize the people that started this place, which are Ed Fennell and Tim Berry, and a whole slew of artists came together 20 years ago to make this place happen. So I really wanted to focus in on the heart of where the Hot Shops came from. And also, my color choices with that one, I wanted to be able to see it from far away, because it is so, it's a nice large wall, and I'm actually going to go in and paint more yellow within it. So it's kind of, okay, once you know your client, once you know where's this going, who's going to see it, it all kind of falls into place. And that's how they always go. You don't know until you really talk and live in that space and talk to people around you. And then you start creating. And for me, it was 7 of the artists at the Hot Shops all in one.
Wow.
Doing their craft.
That's so cool.
And I'll just throw this one in since we're talking about these murals. I'm launching in April. I'm working for Creative Mornings. I didn't answer your question now that I remember. How did I get that? Okay, really quick, rewind. Chamber of Omaha came to the Hot Shops and saw my work, and they said, we want to work with you to do this.
Awesome.
And that's how I got that.
Okay. Cool.
Which got me this next one. Creative Mornings is hosting. I don't know if you guys know about Creative Mornings. Shout out Creative Mornings.
Shout out Creative Mornings.
I'm getting better at this.
Yes.
They are in over 200 cities around the world.
Cool.
And Omaha has one, obviously, and it's entrepreneurs get together and talk about products they're launching.
Ooh, I like the sound of
I
that.
do
That
too.
sounds
Hello. Looks like we're signing up.
Yeah, you guys should
that sounds
go.
fun.
We actually just talked to the developer who's developing the Millwork District.
Okay.
And he's going to do around that
Super
area.
cool area.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is where I launched our idea for Creative Mornings, and I are getting together to collect handprints throughout the community
Okay.
over the next year. We're going to collect them on fabric, and you're going to do a white handprint. I'm going to collect those. I'd say maybe hopefully I'll get 10, 20,000 handprints. And then I'm going to come together in a
here if you
year.
need them.
You're going to be in them, definitely.
Sign us up.
And then we're going to put it together. I'm going to come together and finish it up and put it on a building.
So cool.
Midtown, I think we're looking at Midtown Crossing for a
Cool.
final spot. So yeah, it's jobs after jobs. You do one thing and then you just go on to the next, just like you guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long does that typically take? Like the one downtown, how long did that take you to do?
That one took a little longer than I had hoped, just because I had gotten in a car accident
Oh no.
right when I was supposed to paint that. So struggling to get up and actually get myself to do it while recovering from that car accident was hard. So it took me a month.
Car
Okay.
accidents are the worst.
Yeah, that was my first big one, and
I
it
know a
just
guy
shook
if you
me.
need some good coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah. We might know somebody.
I
Shout
think
out
he's
Cyrus Jaffrey.
always takes care of me. Thank you, Cyrus.
Cool, interesting.
Yeah.
I want to go back to one of
Yeah.
the questions that Ryan had about the scale, because I'm very fascinated by that. Like, I mentioned I get creative every once in a while, and I usually push that into like building cars or doing woodworking things at home and stuff like that. And recently I just completed like I guess I would call it a feature wall, like a wood feature wall of my house and stuff, and it had a bunch of different angles and things like that, geometric and stuff. And I drew almost to scale, like 8.5 by 11, the orientation the way that I wanted it. So it was easy for me to go, okay, here's what I need to do and the angles and stuff. Is that what you do? Do you have to like do a smaller version and then just kind of scale it out and hope you hit the mark?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, it depends on the project. If I feel pretty confident, I'll jump right into it.
Mm-hmm.
If it takes a little bit more finesse or projection,
Yeah.
I use a projector all the time. It's great.
Oh, projector. That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
That's my secret.
Yeah.
I project everything, and that way I can back it up and look.
Oh,
and
wow, cool.
no commitment. I
Yeah.
can just wiggle it wherever I go, and then I go and do it. So
Nice.
That's very
yeah,
cool.
scale has
So
everything
the
to do with it.
secret, right?
Yeah, no secret.
I love it.
Use protection.
Yes. Yes.
But
Maybe
after
we could
I
change the title. Use protection. That would grab
No.
a whole bunch of people's. No protection. Use protection. I like it. That would get it going. We might change the title of this
Wow.
podcast.
please use protection.
Yep. Yep.
While you're projecting.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
Protect while you project.
Yeah. You might have a new slogan going here. I don't know how far that'd get you, but
That's it.
it would get
Someone
it would
want
get
it.
people's attention, right? They'd be like, "What is she talking about?"
Are you listening, guys? Are you listening?
There we go.
right now?
There we go.
Oh my god.
So okay, let's kind of back up too, like, because we got into this conversation. Levi and I talk about this. I would say a lot. He's looking at me like,
I am
well, what
trying to
are
figure out
we
what
talking
this
about?
is.
So, no, but we say, I think we're starting to see it a lot more. But I would say, like, during the time that you decided to do this, it probably wasn't very popular. So with us growing up, getting out of high school, it was like parents are like, all right, where are you going to college? Where are you going to college, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, well, I took a year off and I traveled, right? So I want to get into that. And then I also want you to walk us through, like, okay, so your senior year is coming along. You talked about Chicago possibly. But then you got to this point of like, you know what? I think I'm just going to travel. And the more and more I've talked with people that have done this, it seems to be like they are very successful in the work that they do.
Yeah.
And they didn't go to college. But they took a year off after high school or 2 years off to kind of figure out, like, who am I? What do I want to do? What am I passionate about? Because normally for us, when I look back, I'm like, well, that was like my first 3 years of college. Like, I don't know how many times I changed my major trying to figure out, like, what I was going to do. And then I eventually settled on psychology, which I'm loving it right now, obviously in real estate. But can you kind of walk us through, like, what was going through your mind? Were you scared to have that conversation with your parents? Like, what was your parents' response? Kind of maybe, and I know we've already talked about this, but I thought it was good to share with the audience.
Of course. It was always very transparent with my family. They always knew whatever made me happy, that's what they wanted to push for, and I'm so lucky to have parents that way.
Yeah.
So when I started selling these paintings in high school, and I sat down and talked to them, and I said, I want to push this and see what I want to do. And I hope they would have stopped me if they didn't see that I had talent. But luckily they saw that I had, early talent, and they knew that could grow. So I think that made them more apt to push me to do what I wanted.
Yeah.
And my mom, the day that I decided, you know what, I'm not going to go to Chicago, I'm going to hold my scholarship, keep it on the back burner. My mom came with me and got a studio with me that day. She helped me find one at the hot shops.
Yeah.
We talked to Tim Berry, and he basically said, don't worry, Lori, I got her under my wing.
Wow, cool.
And I owe him a lot as well, because he...
Shout out Tim.
Yeah, he's the best, because he pushed me to be the artist that I am today as well. I have a whole team of supporters around me.
That's awesome.
And what was the question?
So, because and this is kind of interesting too, because, there's a lot of things that stood out to me as we were conversing. And I remember specifically some of that stuff as you were having that conversation, your parents being supportive. But I also remember you saying, I was in Elkhorn, which for those that don't know, Elkhorn's West Omaha. It's typically like the expensive part of Omaha, more the higher end stuff, the luxury. And so you're going to school with a lot of these kids that are coming from backgrounds of, I don't want to say entitled, but that's probably the best way to put it, like entitled kids. And
I will speak on this all day. I never fit in West Omaha, ever. I always felt so out of place, and that's true. It's a very non-diverse community that is entitled, and it's not a terrible thing. It's just I didn't realize I was in a bubble until I moved out east and started working for myself and didn't go to college. All my friends were in college, and I was working in my studio, building a business, but meeting so many different people
Mm-hmm.
So many different kinds of people from all over, and it was this huge awakening. Wow, not everybody's like me.
Yeah.
And that took me till I was 19 years old to figure out there's a whole other world out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I traveled to Europe, and I came
Yep.
back, and the same thing. It boosted me even a little more, and I was like, I gotta keep digging into this world and
Right.
figuring out who's in here and what are they doing, what do they want, and how can I connect with them.
It's disarming.
Yeah.
I think too. You know,
Yeah.
it's an ego destroyer
Yeah.
to travel and realize what different cultures and people are out there, and that we're all basically the same,
Mm-hmm.
yet different as well. And it makes it easier to embrace those differences and just, you know, see the people for who they are
Yeah.
and what they're about. So that's really cool to hear.
But being, just like you said, being very privileged and growing up with security and my parents supporting my business, I had a leg up.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody has that.
Right.
I'm a 26-year-old artist,
Mhm.
female artist, who doesn't have any debt.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
pretty rare.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I owe that to a lot of people. And I don't take that lightly. I'm not blind to it.
Mhm.
I use that.
Mhm.
I use it to, as a platform to help other people,
Right.
if I can,
Mhm.
which is, kind of goes into the
Pay
next
it
question.
forward.
Yes,
Yeah. What legacy do we want to leave? And it's, sorry to roll into that question,
No,
but
it's good. It's good. I like it.
it's connecting with people
Yeah.
and making a true impact on
Mhm.
that, whether it's visual, through my visual arts. I mean, I've seen people cry when they've seen my paintings because they've been through something and they said, you know, that I connected with that really well right now,
Mhm.
and they needed it. Or, you know, through just talking to people and talking to younger artists and telling them, hey, you can do it too,
Mhm.
and here I can help you if I can. And there's no secrets with me. I'm an open book. I'll
Yeah.
tell everybody everything. What were my secrets? I just talk to people,
Mhm.
find out their secrets and find out what they learned. And I hope people ask me as well, because that's what I'm here for, is helping other people out as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Me
And
too. Yeah.
I just got back from Nashville, and I was at a Berkshire conference, and you know, like my wife was asking me about it as I got home, and I just got to connect with some new people from different cities and different things like that as part of the Rethink Council and stuff, and kind of moves into that point. Like it's so refreshing, I think, sometimes to just like meet new people, learn about their backgrounds, and then also like, you know, hey, you're very successful in your business. What are you doing? If you're doing anything differently, or if it's the same stuff that we are doing, like how can we push one another? How can we challenge one another, inspire one another?
How can we collaborate?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
That's a huge
Yeah.
one people don't
Yep.
figure out.
Mhm.
The minute I said, oh, I need a team for something, we made stuff way better than I could
Wow.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to collaborate and connect with people and give up your ego
Mhm.
Yep.
and know that everybody knows something you don't,
Yeah.
and use that.
Uh-huh.
That's
Sorry
good.
to interrupt you.
I like that.
That's huge. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but there's a huge amen
Nugget.
to that, and
Give
that's
up
a
your-
nugget.
Let's
And
nugget.
you know, it's just like, I mean, and that's what I tell people too. It's like so many people will ask me about like our business and stuff, and like how do you go about hiring, you know, like these different people, whether that's your transaction coordinator or your admin or other agents to come on your team, and how do you? I think the biggest thing, right, is like how do you delegate? How do you know when to delegate? How do you like, and all that stuff as we're entrepreneurs, right? And I mean, Levi's heard me say this numerous times. It's like when I go hire, like the best advice, and I actually had it this summer talking to a guy that's higher up in his company, and I was like, when you go hire like people, you know, like what's the process look like? And he's like, the best illustration I use when I tell people this is, he's like, it's like I'm a head coach of a baseball team, and he's like, if I need a first baseman, I go find the best first baseman that I possibly can get, and I hire him. You know, and he's like, if I need a shortstop, I go get a shortstop. If I need a pitcher, I need a pitcher. And they all have different skill sets, right? They all have different experiences, whatever the case is. But he's like, I know as the head coach, I'm not going to be able to play every single position. So I'm going to go find the person that fits best at those specific positions. And then that's what makes me look good, right?
Right.
And
And everybody else.
exactly.
Right. Leverage their time.
So it's funny that you say that, because I'm like, yeah, like that's people want to know like what's the secret of like growing a business and being an entrepreneur and surrounding yourself with great people, and that's exactly it. It's like people want to know, like as we talk about this and we talked about it with Cyrus, like this is the team of people we do business with because we share the same values, we share the same beliefs, we share the same vision, and I think like passion for like what we do, and we want to spur one another on with that, right? And so it's just fun to like, I don't know, see like every one of us, you know, going out there and wanting to be better at what we do, and then it's like coming alongside of one another and having these types of conversations and
work, help grow together.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think that's the only way to grow, you know, and it's how we learn and it's how we change and all that kind of stuff. So
you mentioned you talked about the mural down by the hot shops, but I'm curious for some people as well, if they're watching, listening, do you have any other artwork around Omaha that people could just go see? Tell us locations, places where they can go see your cool
Sure.
stuff.
I wish I could say there was so many locations, but
soon.
Yeah, soon. I got one coming up on 24th and Burdette, just on north. That'll be coming up here in this summer. I'm gonna be painting and installing that mural.
Cool.
So go check that one out when it's done. Check out the Creative Mornings in a year. You'll see random bars I've had to do, you know, like delirium tremens, elephant on the wall, and I had a whole slew of, I think I had 8 murals in one building, but it was torn down.
Oh no.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But so I'm just trying to think. I have some pieces that I did for a church in town. There's 4 of them, and that you can go see at Christ Community Church. Anybody can walk in and see the 4.
Yeah.
And off the top of my head, I can't think at the moment, but most of my stuff that's coming up is gonna be what I want you to go see.
Okay, cool.
I got a show coming up at 1516 Gallery, actually.
All right, nice.
So
when?
That's a big thing. It's gonna be in June. I
Okay.
don't know the date yet. It might be first Friday. We're still figuring
Let
it
us
out.
know once you iron it out.
Absolutely.
Do like Facebook event or whatever. We'll share that for sure.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's kind of my big things coming up, but I wish there were more. I only got 2 arms and 15 hours in a day.
yeah.
Oh, I hate it. Work as a team. I got a team.
Uh-huh.
I got one that I'm going to use.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Man, we covered a lot. We hit a lot of really good points.
There's still one I want to hit.
I know. I'm like, I have a few that I want to ask. I'm like, I just don't know if I want to go backwards and get back into it.
We're going back in because I want to know, like, as we all do as entrepreneurs and people listening, you know, like, I think we all have a dream, right? You know, and sometimes that dream comes at 15, sometimes it comes at 45, sometimes it comes in the middle, wherever it comes from. But, you know, once you realize what that dream was, and it was opening that studio, and, you know, we obviously hear, like, the motto sometimes of, like, once you look back, it's like, there's no turning back, let's go. Like, let's burn the ships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I threw it in there.
I
threw it in there. She's designing this artwork for my office.
He doesn't know I'm halfway done with it.
Oh man.
Well, now he does.
Now I do. But I really loved having that conversation with you, and it was just funny because you're like, so do you want to like come check in on this, or? And I'm like, nope. I want you to just run with it and surprise me. And you're like, okay. Most people don't say that, and I was like, well. Again, you're the professional. I'm going to trust you. I want you to do it, and it'll be great no matter what.
Yeah.
But can you kind of walk us through, too, like, just of, like, when you, like, how scared were you taking that risk and being like, all right, I'm taking this leap of faith, and I hope it works out, or was it more of, like, a confidence thing, like, no, I'm not going to fail, and this is going to happen?
I was this young, dumb kid. I'm like, no, I can do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm still a young, dumb kid. I think I can go 50 feet in the air and hang off a building and paint. But that's you gotta have those crazy, I can do this. And for some reason, I've always had that attitude. I can't do it. There's nothing I can't do within reason. And that's what pushes me to get up the next day and do it, because I know what I'm working on now isn't gonna be, it's gonna be so easy compared to what I have in the future. I want to do big things, big installations, and that's going to take a lot of discipline and work. And so, reeling back, I think there was always little bits of moments here and there. Yeah, am I doing the right thing? My friends are in college, they got their degrees, and they're doing their things. And then every time I would meet a client after a painting was done and we had that connection, hands up, and I was like, nope, I'm in the right place. This is exactly what I need to do. And so I carry that confidence with me every day, and there's nothing I can't do. I just got to put my mind to it. And I owe a lot of that to, shout out Thurman Statham. He's my boss. I work for him part-time. He's a big artist in Omaha, and he's shown around the world.
Cool.
We did the Exarban inner rail leaf installation.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I was
check that out again.
We're putting a 50-foot tower in starting in the 2 weeks.
Wow.
So we just sent the budget in today, and so he gave me the confidence because he's like, hey, go get that down for me, or go move that big glass house, or let's take this 1,500-pound pole off this semi truck, and I'm the one that had to do it. And so if he believes in me, why don't I believe in myself?
Right.
And I think that goes for everybody. You gotta not only believe in yourself, but you have to have people that believe in you too. And if you're surrounded by people that don't get away,
amen to that.
They will hurt you. They will stop you from growing.
Yeah. That's powerful right there, guys.
All these little nuggets.
Yeah, big time.
Are you gonna have me back?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're gonna have to
Absolutely.
rewind and post these little snippets.
I know.
Number 2.
Yep.
Going for the 3rd. Let's go.
I love it. Well, it's interesting that you said that again, because it's like I was talking with one of our friends that I just met in Rethink at Nashville, and she was just explaining to me, she kept saying to me over and over, so I'm the first alternate to make it into this national society board here, and there's only 12.
Really?
And so she was the one that made it in, and she's like, so you're the one that I beat out. And so we were talking, and I was like, yeah. And
you're like, little salt in the wound.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I was like, thanks a lot. But no, we started talking, and as we started talking, I could just tell that she kept saying over and over, you deserve to be in this position. I don't know how I got here. I don't know. And I'm like, no, you deserve to be here. Everything that you've been sharing, confirms why you're in this position. This is a person that got into real estate 3 years ago, didn't join a team, had no idea what to do, hits the ground running, and it's this last year she did $8 million in volume, and I was like,
wow.
Listen, you never joined a team, you had no direction, no help, no whatever, how'd you even know how to write your first contract, and we're having those conversations, and I'm like, you're sitting here disrespecting and degrading yourself and not giving yourself, that confidence and that boost and that approval of these last 3 years have been hard and have been challenging, but you got gritty, you hustled, and this is where you're at. And I'm like, you deserve to be here. And so we just kept talking over and over, and I just kept reaffirming her, if there's anything that I'm gonna do as far as her friend and being a part of this council is I'm gonna encourage you all the time and build that confidence in you.
Yeah.
Because that was one thing that my coach did for me, when I got a coach into real estate, it was I already knew what I needed to do to take it to the next level, right? But I was surrounded by some people that were, are you sure this is what you want to do? Or, and then it gets you thinking negatively about a lot of things, or something doesn't go your way, a deal falls through, whatever. But now looking back, it's man, the biggest step for me was when somebody started believing in me, like you said, and they started pulling this potential out of me and really started building that confidence without me seeing it at that time. But now it's now it's there, right? Now that confidence has been built because I've surrounded myself with those people.
Yep.
And I couldn't agree with you more that that's a key to success right there. That is, we say it all the time, you hear successful people say it all the time, I didn't get here because of, hard work and what, yes, we put that in, but there's a lot of people to give credit to that helped me get here, and a lot of that is, I think, instilling that confidence in us, pushing us, challenging us, inspiring us, encouraging us, and so I think that's cool to hear you say, and then say it so passionately, if you've got negative people around you, get rid of them, and that's literally what I told her. I'm like, you can't be surrounded by the negativity of others.
that's big
Like
time.
that will hinder your business and it will bring you down. But if you start surrounding your people like us, like on the Rethink Council and within our company, like, so, you know, our broker invited her out and was like, come see our office, come see like what we do and the culture we've established and built here. And, you know, we have a conference here that we have everybody out to that people get excited about. And they come for the first time, and it's something I take for granted. You know, like I learned that this last week. I was like, man, I really take the place that I work in for granted. Like everybody talks about the Omaha office, and it's just like, yeah.
Look
like,
at this place.
Yeah, we're from Omaha.
Yeah, Jenna said that.
I know.
She's like, this is a sweet office.
But it really is. It's like, it's, you know, I think I was really humbled going and listening to these people, and you know, I really do like sometimes take for granted the broker that I work for and the company that I work for and the people that I've surrounded myself with. And so, you know, I really came back with like a newfound like, man, I'm going to tell people that I work with and that are around me and surrounding me that I love you. And I tell Levi that a lot.
He
Like,
does.
I love you, man. Like, I just appreciate your friendship and stuff. But no, I think it's keel. It's keel? Is that even a word? Like,
Even keeled?
right. Like, but it's, I think hearing you say that, like, you know, affirms why we connected so well, and like we share that same connection there with others, and, you know, like understanding that, like, hey, we need that and those type of people in our lives to be successful.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
I agree.
Big stuff. Love it.
I know.
Yeah.
So I know you already hit on this, but you know, as you think about the legacy and everything that you want to leave here in Omaha, and you know, when things are laid to rest, what do you want to be remembered for, and what's that legacy that you want to leave behind as you continue to move forward?
I just want people to remember me by the community that hopefully I will build.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I just want to focus on where I'm at in Omaha and integrating that more with my work, using my community more in my work, meaning, you know, whether it's physical and say, hey, everybody paint 100 squares and I'll use them in my work, and letting people know that they're creative too, and they're a part of this process just like us artists are. I mean, I have no idea what you guys go through on a daily basis, but I respect it, because without you guys, a lot of people would be without homes, and without people like me, a lot of people wouldn't have all this art around. So that balance and knowing that your community is very important, I just want to hone in on that, and I want people to remember me for that. Then I'm gonna go to the next city, so watch out.
Yeah, I like it.
I got 3 more hard years here, and then we'll see.
There you go.
I got a goal.
All right.
I've lived here my whole life.
Do you know where you're going?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All
We
right.
might have suggestions for you down the road,
Cool.
but tell us how folks can connect. I know we talked a little bit about that earlier. You know, where you're located and stuff like that. But give us the address, social media, all the plugs you want and have. Let us know how people can connect, how they can find you. If you guys are interested in having a custom piece done, definitely check Jenna out for sure. She's got some fantastic artwork. Wait till you see what she's working on for Ryan. I haven't seen it. I just have confidence and know that's going to be awesome. So yeah, let us know.
Sure. My website is jennajart.com, JennaJart.com, and you can hit me up via Instagram.
Okay.
You'll see Jenna J _, is that an underscore?
Yeah.
Art.
Yep.
Okay, Jenna
Yep.
J _art. That's one as well. And yeah, come see me at the Hot Shops, 1301 Nicholas Street. I'm in Studio 205. If you can't get a hold of me via any of those, then I must be out of the country or MIA, because you can always
Or you might not be her friend. Just saying. I mean, she's kind of a big deal. But no, and I wanna plug that place, because like it was the first time that I went in there, and I was just like, man, this place is awesome, because you get to just tour around the place. You get to see so many different studios and artists out there and talk with them, and that was big for me. Like, just I'm like, oh, they got glass blowing. Like, there's some glass blowing work there, and then just a whole bunch of different artists where, it's almost like walking into a museum.
Wait, is it?
Jenna J Artworks.
Nope.
No.
Nope, wrong one.
Sorry, I thumbs up and I was, what was I thumbing up at?
Yeah.
Let me see if I
Oh man, Levi's getting.
I am.
love.
I'm trying to, so we can throw it
Oh,
on there.
that's-
Go ahead. Get it.
Yeah,
That's
it was.
fine.
It's a great place to go check out, you guys. So it's downtown, you know, and like you said, now you have this connection here with Jenna, and so if you happen to be going down there and want to see some of her stuff,
Gotcha.
definitely reach out to her. The tour you gave me was awesome.
Thanks.
Not saying that you can give that to everyone, but
No, I'll try. It's a great building.
but it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So
Well, we have our
yeah.
open house coming up in April. Every studio will be open.
Okay,
I would
So
try to
cool.
come.
there we
What
go.
date? Do you
There's
know
the
the
plug.
Third weekend in April.
Third weekend
Okay.
in April.
I don't know what
Okay.
days those lands on.
Yeah.
But it will be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is
We
it
definitely
third?
have to go.
Oh, now she's got to check.
No,
it.
no. It might be fourth week. This is the
Here.
last weekend.
Fourth would be better.
Excuse me. It's in the fourth weekend
Woo.
in April.
There we go.
Woo.
I will definitely
Mark
just-
it on your calendar, people. 'Cause
Double check
it'll
the
be
website.
well worth it.
Yeah. Please come.
And so you do custom work, but then you also do other work that you have for sale as well, right?
Yeah.
So they can find that on your website and
Come to my show
Coming-
in
coming
at
to the open
1516. At the open house
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm kicking out some larger works. I got some 10-footers that I'm working
Nice.
on. And yeah, those will be showing in Gallery 1516. Shout out. So
Cool.
yeah, come see those.
Love it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was
for coming
awesome.
on.
I love today.
That was pretty good.
This is great.
today.
Yeah.
Energy.
We really appreciate it.
you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Check her out, guys.
Definitely.
Talented
Happy
person.
Thursday. Thanks for checking us out. Again, Jenna Johnson. If you don't know her, we're going to put a link below with her website and things like that you can follow her and go get connected.
Thank you.
Yep.